If you want to participate, contact me at ordinarywomenpodcast@gmail.com. I'm sure you have great projects to brag about. You can also follow me and message me on Instagram at Ordinary Women Podcast, on Twitter at Ordinary Women PC, or on Facebook on the page Ordinary Women. Hi everyone, welcome to a new episode of Ordinary Women. I'm welcoming Julissa today. Hello, how are you?
Hi, I'm doing great. What about you?
I'm good too, thank you. I'm very excited to have you here today. Can you start by giving us a quick introduction of yourself, please?
Sure thing. I like to introduce myself by focusing on who I am rather than just what I do. First and foremost, I'm a daughter, a sister, and a systems engineer. Currently, I work as a tech lead for a startup based in California, but I'm lucky enough to do this from my home in Lima, Peru, in South America, or sometimes while traveling. Also, I'm passionate about writing, reading, and I am a huge anime fan. And recently, I've started running, so it's my new challenge.
Oh my god, fun! I'm a fellow runner, so I really love that part. And what's your favorite anime?
Oh, the last time I think the ranking of kings, it's a very deeply anime for me. So I cried a lot because it's
Oh.
a sadly story for a boy to grow up to be a king of the kings. So yeah.
Ooh, okay, that sounds really interesting. Thank you for this introduction. And can you tell us something unusual about you, please?
Yeah, I played the violin. Maybe it's something
Ooh.
that nobody knows. Just my family knows that. But yeah, I played the violin for 3 years, I think, and then I stopped when I started studying my at the university.
Yeah, it must be really time consuming.
Yeah.
That's super, super cool. Do you think you'll ever start playing again in the future?
Yeah, I'm planning to organize my schedule to start again with the classes and buying another violin because the last one that I bought was broken. So, yeah,
Oh no.
yeah.
Well, cool. Can't wait for you to start playing again. And in the meantime, you can run, right?
Yes, yes. I'm preparing or training to my first half marathon. So, yeah, it was a huge challenge for me.
Oh my god, amazing. Well, good luck with that. I hope that, yeah, I hope everything goes well and that you can run your first half marathon. Yes, really. So obviously on this podcast, we talk a lot about womanhood. And so my first question is always, was there an event or a moment in your life when you realized that you are a woman?
It was an interesting point. So I was reflecting on this question. So I realized there wasn't a single defining moment when I became aware of being a woman. Instead, it's been a gradual process of awareness shaped by various experiences throughout my life and career. Working in the tech field, one of the most significant factor in this awareness has been noticing the lack of female representation. This reality became evident from my student years, where there were a few female professors and classmates in the technical course, and became even more apparent when I entered to the workforce. So while I've been fortunate that my work has generally been respected on its own merits, I'm aware that this isn't the universal experience for women in tech, maybe. This realization has made me more conscious of my identity as a woman in this field and the importance of having diverse voice in the tech industry. This awareness continues to shape my perspective daily, motivating me to not only pursue my professional goals, but also to support other women interested in technology. It's a reminder that being a woman in tech isn't just about my personal journey, but about how we can collectively create a more equitable and representative environment for everyone in the field.
I love it. Yeah, that was so well said. Really, really cool. And do you think you've seen an evolution from when you started to be in this field and where you are now?
Yeah, sure. The evolution, it's a collectively work, I think, because it's not me, but it's a problem that every woman in tech, I think, it's working on it. Collectively, I think many communities, for example, I don't know if you heard before about Women Who Code. I know this community
Yeah.
recently closed, but they
Uh-huh.
work a lot to provide some resources to every girl in the world that interested in technology, giving talks, giving mentoring or something like that. Also, the companies and industries take conscious about this problem, so starting separate slots to maybe contract more women in some job positions, things like that. But yeah, it's a work in progress, but we can see a lot of progress in this field.
Nice. That's pretty cool. Thank you so much for sharing. And did you grow up with any women role model?
On my childhood, I realized how much my family shaped who I am today, even in subtle ways. For example, my mother and my aunt played crucial roles in my nurturing my aspirations, even if they didn't always realize it. I still remember the day my mother brought home some university brochures. As I flipped through them, something clicked me when I saw the systems engineering program. And yeah, it was a small spark that will eventually lead me to my career in technology. At the same time, I could say growing up in a traditional household came with its own set of challenge. For example, and now I will open my heart. My father didn't always believe in me in terms of my capabilities, which could have been discouraging, but instead it became a catalyst for me in terms of my growth. His doubts, while difficult, pushed me to prove not just my worth to him, but more importantly to myself. In the end, this contrasting influence, the quiet support from my mother and aunt, and the challenge I face at home helped me to develop resilience and a strong sense of self belief. They opened door I didn't know exist and instilled in me the determination to pursue my passion in technology. I want to mention too, I found my inspiration from two incredible women at the moment. The first could be Fei Li, a renowned AI researcher whose work in making AI more ethical and accessible is really, really truly inspiring. She reminds me that we can combine technical skills with a strong sense of purpose. Closer to home, I admire my college and friend who call Nicole Grasset. She's an exceptional product manager, and what I love most is how she balanced being a brilliant professional with being an amazing mother and wife. She's not only a role model for her skills, but also for the way she impacts everyone around her through mentorship and leadership.
Wow, she sounds amazing. And the women in your family sound amazing as well. I'm really sorry that your dad sounds harsh.
Oh, yeah.
And
I think it's a Latin American problem, given
mm,
the traditional mindset that we have or that they have meanwhile they grow. So, yeah.
but do you think he thinks that only for the fact that you are a woman?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh wow.
I'm really sure about it. But yeah, see, I think it's a Latin problem because their generation grow up with that mindset. So it's complicated to change it, but not impossible at all, I think. So it's another work in progress.
Yeah. No, and I mean, it's especially complicated when when it's your family, right?
Yeah.
When you love people, it's always hard to point out the big disagreements, right? Do you think now that you've started uni and you're kind of like proving yourself, do you think his mind is changing with that, with the actions that you're taking?
I have the opportunity to open some talk moments with him in terms of know what he thinks now because I have a brother, so I take care of him. In terms of my father can be more conscious about the feelings of my little brother, but it's complicated because he didn't change their mind, their ideas. So yeah, it's very complicated.
Yeah, I can imagine. I'm really sorry about that. And I'm really glad that the women in your family are supportive and helpful. So precious to have them. And do you think that the lack of representation of women in society has an impact on you?
Oh yeah, the lack of female representations. Maybe I could mention a lot related to tech field. In the tech field has always been noticeable. I think this problem, instead of discourage me, it motivates me to create a space where women can thrive. That's why I began organizing technical workshops, giving inspirational talks in schools, and mentoring high school girls interested in tech in terms of show what they can do in the future, what things will be interested for her. Yeah, along the way I discovered some programs that helps to increase the representation of women in tech. I discovered Google's Women Tech Maker program, which resonate deeply with my mission. Through my involvement in the community, I eventually became an ambassador, which has only strengthened to my commitment to empowering more women in technology. So I participate a lot in tech communities with this big mission on my mind in order to increase the participation of the women in the tech field.
That's so cool. Yeah, I love that your images are like, okay, let's fix this. Let's change it. That's really, really cool. Is that what you were planning on talking about in the sort of like project life experience part? Because I have so many questions. So, like, if that's what you were going to talk about, let's jump right into it.
Yeah. I am planning to mention just two things, like being first generation to attend the university, and also I'm really, really proud about my work in order to increase the representation of women in tech.
Okay, amazing. Cool. Well, can you like give us an overview of like what you want to talk about in this second part? I mean, you just like described it briefly, but if you want to give us more details.
So, about my projects and life, I'm incredibly proud of two major achievements in my life. First, being the first in my family to attend university, coming from a background where higher education wasn't always seen as an option. It felt like a huge milestone, not just for me, but for my family as well. It was a long journey full of challenge, but it taught me perseverance and value of education. And I'm really happy to be an inspiration for my cousins and also for my little brother to pursue a career in technology. So, second, the work I've been doing to increase the participation of women in technology, so I've been organizing workshops, giving talks, and mentoring young women because I believe that diversity in tech is crucial for innovation. This start when I noticed how few women there were in my classes and later in the workplace. It made me realize that I could be part of the solutions. It took several years from when I first had the idea to actively start working on this initiative, but I start, it became a driving passion. The biggest challenge has been pushing through self doubt and feeling like I had to prove myself in an industry where women are still underrepresented. But every time I see another young women enter to the tech space with confidence, it reinforces why I keep going. What surprised me is how quickly communities and other women respond once you take the first step. The support can be overwhelming, but in the best way.
That's so cool. Obviously, I have so many questions, but first, yeah, this is so cool. I love that. You talked a bit about why you started the mentoring part, but why did you start going to university? And what, if like, again, if that's okay for me to ask, but what made it possible for you? Because you were saying that in your family, it's not necessarily possible.
Yeah, I think it could be by many factors. But first, when I was a child, I won a scholarship to start studying. I don't know how to say that, but I start to know about the computer through in order to know how to start that, how to use Office, how to do some things like drawing on the computer and things like that. It was a starting point in order to when I end my high school, I start thinking, oh, what I can do for my future. I would like to pursue a career in technology like systems engineering or computer science or something like that. But given the economic stuff, I tried to pursue scholarships. Yeah, so I started with a technical career that pushed me to the workforce early. So I got my first job as a programmer when I was, let me remind, 18 years old. So I started very younger. And yeah, that's give me a lot of insights in terms of technical stuff, but also in not have women college. So it was some memories that I have to push me to start doing these things. And by the other hand, as a child with my background, I mean, with economic problems, being a child that not considered to the university as a possibility, giving these inspiring talks and mentoring younger women, it's a way that I can show for her, for these young women, it is possible doing some things like taking opportunities or asking or doing stuff like that.
That's so cool. That's amazing that you're doing it now and got the scholarship. Congratulations. And how did you start the mentoring part then? Because like I can hear that it's so linked, obviously. But how did that start? Like what did you do?
Yeah, my early years of my career, I discovered I like to teach in terms of share the information in a easy way to my classmates in order to they can understand some topics that some professor cover on the classes. So this is an starting point maybe. Then when I advance in my career, I discovered some organizations here in Peru that helps women and young people. And yeah, I applied for some mentorship programs in order to be a mentor for these high school students. Talking from my experience, what I do as the role that I have at the moment, what challenge that I face when I being a student or something like that. Yeah, so that's story how I start doing mentors. And the last years or nowadays I'm doing some more technical mentorships in terms of help more people that it's already studying or pursuing a job in the tech field, giving mock interviews or some tips to study along the path that they follow, like a specific roles. I mean, a front end developer, a back end developer, or a cloud architect, or something like that.
That's so cool. Oh my God, so many amazing things that you're doing. And do you think anyone had an impact on you doing any of these?
I think seeing the people accomplish their having achievements in terms of when they came back to me and tell me something like, oh, I got the job, or I got the promotion, or oh, I failed it, but let's try it again. uh, that's all things that have a huge impact on me because they help me to improve my by improving my role as a mentor, I think, but also they help me grow as a person because we are humans. So always we are continuously learning a lot of stuff. Yeah, their experience helped me a lot in order to understand other backgrounds because some persons that I know to giving this mentoring comes from, oh, I choose this career, but now I want to change it. I want to pursue a tech career, but I didn't know anything. So they felt that as a failure because they need to change their first option. But yeah, it's or they need to find a job in terms of help their family or came from a difficult background. So yeah, and learning about this experience helped me a lot to understand how is the reality in other parts of the world. Because I do this mentoring, by the way, uh, through the platform. It's called ADP List. So this platform can connect me with people around the world. So yeah, I learn a lot from these people.
Really cool. How did you find this platform?
Um, I don't know. I think I found a lot of things when I scrolling on LinkedIn. So one day I just scrolling and see this platform on LinkedIn and oh, I think it was a really cool idea, so I applied to be a mentor. And when I start to do this mentoring in English, that is not my my main language, as you know this. Yeah, it was for one side a challenge, and for other one it was really help or really oh, it was me really happy to have others sharing some experience or knowledge because yeah, it's information that we share with others in order to grow because meanwhile we can teach, we learn a lot.
Yeah, I can imagine. And actually, that was going to be my next question. What do you think that you learned through mentoring other people that helps you at uni And what did you learn at uni aside from, well, all the technical language, technical skills, obviously? But yeah, what else did you learn at uni that helps you mentoring? Like, how do they each participate in you growing? If does this question make sense?
Maybe one of the most valuable things I've learned from mentoring, it's the importance of guidance and support. It's rewarding to see how much impact even a small piece of advice can have on someone's career or confidence. It has also taught me to be more patient, emphatic, and reflective. Mentoring is a two-way street. While I guide others, I also learn from their unique perspective, challenge, and ambitions. It's a constant reminder of the importance of diversity in thought and experience, and how we can all grow by sharing knowledge. What else I can say here? I don't know.
I mean, that was already plenty, and yeah, really, really cool. Speaking of challenges, what challenges have you faced, both in uni and in this, yeah, mentoring speaking space?
Maybe one of the biggest challenge that I faced in the university was overcoming the feeling of isolation as one of the few women in my tech classes, due the lack of female peers and mentors made me or made it hard at times to feel like I truly belonged in the field. For example, some moments that I have doubts, it was complicated to ask to a partner, maybe because at first I'm being afraid of what they think about me if I have some doubts about this topic. I don't know, but yeah, I think I found great mentors in terms of they encourage me to ask the questions until the questions will be wrong. But this advice give me confidence in terms of make mistakes. Yeah, and in the mentoring, I think one of the first challenge is the idiomatic barrier, or the yeah, given again the English is not my big advantage. So another one could be I faced a challenge helping mentees overcome self-doubt, especially young women who often don't see enough role models in tech. I have to learn how to help them build confidence while also guiding them through technical skills. At the time, it can be difficult to see them struggle with imposter syndrome. This is the most common thing that I see in mentorings with women. Yeah, I see this a lot. But I learned that providing a supportive environment and sharing my own experience can make a huge difference in their progress. Not directly for my experience, but they can feel represented in some stories or some experience, so they felt, oh, she was like me, so I can do that, or things like that. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes so much sense. And yeah, it's so interesting to hear that you're almost doing what you have missed, right? You were missing a mentor and now you're mentoring other women. That's really, really cool. That's a great way to have an impact on that issue. And do you think, on the contrary, that there was anything easier than you were expecting, both again at uni and in the mentoring space?
I think that something easy could be compact the information and give some easy examples in order to understand some technical stuff. Yeah, eh, I think having a child brother, or I don't know if I made the sentence correctly, but yeah, gave me some abilities in order to try to explain difficult things to my little brother. Yeah, for example, all of us pass through the fast to start to asking about everything. Why the water has no color, or oh, why the cats, even when they fell, suffer injuries, or things like that. So yeah, I think I I developed an ability to explain these technical things with facility in terms of the technical side. But also, I work a lot on my self esteem, self confidence, and things like that in order to help also the people that I mentored with soft skills, because the hard skills are important when we pursue a technical role. But if we don't develop our soft skills, it will maybe a little bit complicated, and it's another things it will be really important when we apply the job or when we want to grow, advance in our career.
Yeah, that makes so much sense. Really cool. Thank you for sharing. And why are you proud of yourself for going to uni and again for also the every all the work you're doing in mentoring and helping other people?
Um, I'm really proud because I mentioned before it was a dream to assist to the university and graduate, and that moment I could call me as an engineer. So yeah, I'm proud to achieve these things, continue growing, and made a little impact in some life in terms the mentoring things or giving some inspiring talks. Because first of all, I do these things because I find this activity really helpful in terms of, oh, when I was a child, it was great if I received these advices or these things. So I encountered these activities really help. I try to be the change. Maybe as a common phrase, but I try to do some changes, starting by myself and doing a little stuff that made a little impact. If one person can have some inspiring and start to pursuing and the career or an advice will be helpful for their yeah, it was really great.
Yeah, I can imagine. That's really, really cool. Thank you so much for sharing. And I think we're going to conclude our episode on this. Thank you so, so much for coming in and chat with me and share a part of your story with everyone who's listening. Is there anything that we didn't talk about that you wanted to mention before we end?
One thing I didn't get the chance to mention maybe is how important it is to build a community around you. No one succeeds alone, and having support system, whether it's family, friend, or college, I think makes all the difference. On that note, there is a phrase I love. It was, do it even if you're scared, just do it. Where it's applying for a new job, joining a program, asking for a promotion, or sharing something you are passionate, just take the leap. Funny enough, I think that's why I'm here today. So, taking the step, even when it feels intimidating, can open up incredible opportunities.
That's super cool. Definitely. Thank you so, so, so much. Yeah, thank you for being here today. Really loved our conversation. And there is a little tradition in this podcast that the guest gets the very last word. So the mic is yours.
Okay, my last word will be surround yourself with people who lift you up, but never forget to take the leap yourself. Even if you are scared, just do it because every step, no matter how small, gets you closer to where you want to be.